Oh, hey Tom, what's up, man?
Hey Connor, you'll never believe where I am, man.
Where are you, man? What's going on?
I've just commandeered a green screen studio, buddy.
Fucking hell, it looks amazing. What's going on?
Well, I'm gonna create a talk show where we have real people giving fucked up opinions, find out what they're doing, be able to agree to disagree again, Connor.
Sounds good, man, but where do I fit in?
Well, I'm looking for a young person, Connor, to be the co-host.
All right, cool. You want like a young guy's perspective, that kind of
No,
thing?
Connor, you're like the fourth person I called, man. First person that answered. You know how to work an iPad, don't you?
I do, man, yeah.
Well, get the fuck down here. You're the new co-host.
I'll be there right now, man.
Tom State's dangerous space! Connor, what the fuck are you doing, man?
It's called TikTok, man. Have you not seen this?
What the fuck is TikTok?
Fucking hilarious. Look at this. It's pretty good.
It's actually really funny.
Say, man, this talk show, what kind of show are we making here?
This is gonna be an awesome talk show. We're gonna take real people and get their opinions. They're gonna be the guests, Connor.
I like that. So, like, we're not going to have any celebrity guests?
No celebrity. Nobody gives a fuck what a celebrity thinks. You ever seen a celebrity give his opinion? Nobody cares because he's not in the real world. We're going to get real people giving their opinions, then we're going to judge their opinions from other real fucking people.
I like that, man. So you get to have the audience be the guest.
That's what I'm saying, Connor. It's going to be super exciting, man.
Great. So I get to pick who the guest is.
That's the best part about it. You get to pick any guest you want. You're going to pick the guest for me, Connor, and I won't know who it is.
So I could pick anyone.
Anyone you want.
What about that guy?
Even that fucking guy.
Nice. What do you think about racism?
Racism, man? I tell you a little bit about racism, man. There's like this guy that I met once, and he had like this
God,
big.
but this guy, shut the fuck up. It's an advert. It's not even the real show, Connor.
Believe that guy?
Fucking
Maybe we should have one real guest.
That's a great point, Connor. I'll find somebody that's like interesting, maybe not famous, but definitely interesting.
Sounds good, man. Do we have like an ending for this show?
Of course we have an ending, but it's gonna be a surprise, Connor.
What's the surprise?
I don't know what the surprise is. That's what the fucking surprise is, Connor.
I like it, man. It sounds dangerous.
Tom State's dangerous space.
Nobody fist bumps anymore, man.
Bam. Tom State's dangerous. Tom State's Tom State's dangerous space.
Hello everyone. Welcome to the dangerous space. Guys, can we get everyone unmuted, please? Woo! Yes, good. Yes, everyone unmuted. Amazing. Guys, thank you so much for being here. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yeah.
Amazing. You guys sound awesome. You look great. Now, you may have noticed I am not Tom Stade, okay? But what we're going to do, I'm your co-host. My name's Connor Burns. We're going to get Tom in a second. But there's some paperwork we need to take care of, okay? First of all, we're going to do a little disclaimer about the show, okay? Now, I can't stress this enough. Everything you're about to hear on this show has not been researched in the slightest, all right? We are not here to change your opinion. We're not experts. We are idiots, okay? Is that fair?
Yes.
Thank you. If you guys choose to take anything that you hear on this show as us trying to change your mind on something, convince you, make you think differently, then that's on you, okay? We created a show called The Dangerous Space. We created a show called The Dangerous Space so that we could have a place to talk about taboo subjects that you can't really talk about over dinner. So if you get upset on a show called The Dangerous Space, if someone says something a bit dangerous, it's kind of your fault, okay? Is that clear? You guys seem like... Let's all have some fun, all right, guys? Without holding up anything anymore, we just want to get to hearing your guys' opinions. But please, let me welcome the host, Mr. Tom Stade.
Yes. Oh, welcome everybody. Welcome. Now unmute everybody for me, please. All right. How's everybody feeling tonight? Well, this is a new medium for me. I'm going to tell you that right now. And I want to thank each and every one of you for joining us here tonight. Now, what we're doing is we're having an experiment to see if Tom Stade can do a talk show. And I'm not sure. That's why we only picked 4 topics. And tonight, let's just start out. How weird is this fucking stage? Tom Stade in the clouds. This is what we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen. This is our green screen studio. Now, the people at the tech, they said, what kind of background do you want, Tom? And I said, I want it to look like my fucking brain. And what they told me, thank you, this is what my head looks like. At first they said, Tom, should we make your brain lightning and atoms and shit fucking flying all over the place? And I thought, no, I need something airy where thoughts can come in and go. Like thoughts like, fucking, is Don Johnson still cool if he's old? And yeah, I think Michael Jackson is a pedophile, but nobody cares. And is there an ice cream that we haven't named a flavor for yet? These are the things that I need to come in and out because I don't like to hold any opinions. Now, what this show is, ladies and gentlemen, it's kind of like a talk show, but it's a talk show meets writing session, meets loose women, meets angry Twitter fight. And every talk show, from what I know, has to have a monologue. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think our first topic tonight is going to be about freedom of speech and censorship. Because the importance and power, to me, of freedom of speech, I think is slowly being whisked away a little bit. I don't know how you feel about it. I feel like we've become these sanitized little monkeys living in this social media zoo. And every now and then, a wild monkey will come in and he'll fucking take his opinion out of his ass and throw that turd against the free speech wall. And maybe I want to see that piece of shit. But there's always another monkey coming in going, you can't see that piece of shit on the social media free speech wall. It's wrecking it. Now, since this is going to be about censorship, I want to start off the question with, what if you weren't allowed to watch this show? What if you were not allowed to see the Martin Luther King fucking little narrative that I'm about to show you? Because if Martin Luther King lived, if he was alive today in the year 2021, he wouldn't have an I have a dream speech. He would have an I have a dream blog on Facebook. And I guarantee you, he would get a 6-month ban for breaking Facebook community standards, for inciting fucking somebody to do something about something that's wrong. He would probably call all his Black Panther buddies and tell them, hey man, no, the revolution will not be televised. I fucking sent you a link on Signal. The revolution will be on Zoom, sir. We're going to take it to Zoom. Now, I know what you're probably thinking, but I don't. You're thinking, I'm watching the show right now, Tom, you dumb fuck. And I know that you're watching the show. But maybe you're the oppressor. If you think about it, we all censor other people. Like maybe you've got a kid right now. Maybe you've got children that are 9 and 10, and they want to watch this show. But you're not going to fucking let them because you know that I might say something fucking crazy. Like, I've got a 2-headed 10-inch fucking dildo, and I'm going to slap your grandmother with it. You know? And you don't want little Kevin to hear that. Although I would say that if Kevin went to school tomorrow, he'd be the coolest kid in class, knowing what a 2-headed fucking 10-inch dildo is. Or maybe I'm being censored right now. Maybe immersive TV has fucking censored me. Maybe all you heard was, I'm going to take this bleep, bleep, bleep and slap your grandmother with it. Although I don't know why I find that so funny. Now, but that's what TV does. TV tries to protect you by stopping obscenity from going on there. And do you feel protected when the Church of Sky Plus HD doesn't show you something that you think you can handle? And to me, there's so many different forms of censorship, okay? There's so many, but one of the biggest censors in the world is religion. Of course religion is, and we all know this. You know this as much as I do. If you don't think Christianity censors you, ask anyone from the Spanish Inquisition. And then there's some religions. There are some religions that don't give a fuck. Like I jerked off Buddha the other day and rammed a whole bunch of anal beads up his ass and told him to whistle She'll Be Coming Around the Mountain as I yanked him out, and he blows his big enlightened load all over my beautiful face. But you know what? I don't think a Buddhist monk is going to come in here and cut my fucking head off. But I'll tell you this right now, if I start talking about, I'll tell you right now, I ain't going to draw a picture of the guy, and I ain't naming my teddy bear after him, because that would be fucking suicide for me. And I really need to think about it sometimes. Like, for them, why is God so sensitive? And if he is, I'm thinking, you know, God's probably a dude, because only a dude would be that sensitive. If God was a woman, she'd be too busy running the fucking universe, sitting there creating eyeballs and crab nebulas and black holes to be worried about some picture somebody drew. But a dude would sit there and go, wait, they drew a picture of me? What the fuck do I goddamn look like? That ain't fucking me. I don't have teeth. Cut their heads off and everybody they fucking showed it to. That's what a dude God would say. So, I guess what I'm saying is it's really easy to live for free speech, but it's very hard to die for. And now that we have this beautiful thing, the internet with this worldwide thing, anybody can have an opinion. And that's why it's so important to have free speech come in. Because if you think about it, back in the old days, only scholars and people of notoriety could have an opinion. But now everybody can have an opinion. And I'm worried about the platforms. If you think about it, the platforms have changed. In 1910, maybe you were running for mayor and you actually had a platform, a fucking soapbox, which you would stand on. And you'd scream to maybe 40 or 50 people. And if you said something fucked up, like, I want to be mayor of this town, and I think we should let women vote and pay them equal pay, and somebody said, you're fucking crazy. Who cares? Twitter ain't there to share it and go viral with everybody. So that was the first. And then all of a sudden radio showed up. Fucking your range became a little bit bigger. You could go on local radio. Hi, this is local radio. What's your opinion? We don't agree with that. This is local radio. If you don't like what we say, you get out of here and go on some other radio station. But that was too small. But then TV showed up. Television brought, you could go to, the whole country could fucking hear you. You had the biggest audience ever. But the problem is that audience that you could go to was sponsored by somebody. You couldn't be sponsored by free speech. You know, no company is sponsored by communism. You know, hey, communism, everybody gets a little piece. No. What you get is you get Dr. Pepper, and Dr. Pepper doesn't like free speech. It's afraid of free speech. And now here we are. Here we are with the World Wide Web, where social media is fucking king. But it's run by people who own the platforms, people who own the fucking soapbox that will decide what you can and cannot say. The shareholders, the corporations, they can ban you just for having an opinion that they don't like. And not just by law. The corporations can do it to whoever they want because they are the law. And if you really think about it, people with things that are important to say, they all get canceled anyways. You know, I sit there and I think of all the people that may have been great, but we never got to hear them. Like, if you think about all the people that said something beautiful, like Malcolm X, canceled. Abraham Lincoln, canceled. John Lennon, canceled. Gandhi, canceled. Fuck, the list goes on. John F. Kennedy, all canceled. Because as soon as you start questioning authority, all of a sudden you better do it behind 2-inch thick bulletproof fucking glass. and now we're here, and in the UK, it's good. I'm not saying the UK ain't bad. We fight to protect our free press. But if our free press is so free, how come Rupert Murdoch's a fucking billionaire, man? So in closing, so we get this show going, it all goes back to that little kid, Kevin. And I know you're watching this show, Kevin, because you fucking probably got your iPad out of the fucking top drawer of your mom and dad's dresser, and you probably found that fucking dildo. And I'm fucking glad you did. And know that it's probably used on your dad, because that's how weird society has gotten. And to tell you the truth, Kevin, I'm glad you showed up, because no matter what happens here tonight, everybody's safe in Tom Stade's dangerous space. So ladies and gentlemen, let's find out if this is going to go or not. Thank you for listening to me for a sec. Cheers, everybody. And let's bring Connor back to the show. Woo! All right.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. How was that, Connor? That's the first monologue I've ever done in my goddamn life.
Pretty awesome, man. It was great. Guys, did you enjoy that?
Yeah, I can't hear you.
It was amazing. Guys, guess what? I was here the whole fucking time. Just one more thing before we go on, guys. If you're going to chat and stuff, please just mute your own mics, okay?
Yeah, mute your mics. Now, before we start, what I want you to know, we're not going to do this for everyone, but I want you to know how I met Connor and why this show even started to happen. Now, Connor, you were about the third person I called to open for me in a gig in a little town called Oban. And we had such a great time in Oban, and I got super drunk, blackout drunk, and I started smoking cigarettes in a bar, and nobody kicked me the fuck out.
So up to that point, basically, I had heard all of the Tom Stade comedy rock god mythos, much like you guys have heard, right? But I'd never really worked with him. And I get a call, Connor, do you want to come and open for me in Oban? And I was like, there's no way that that's really what this guy is. And then after the gig, he pulls out cigarettes. We're in the middle of a packed bar and just lights a cigarette in front of the fucking owner. And absolutely fuck all was done about it. I was like, I need to work with this guy forever.
Well, eventually get it right. So what the show started off as, because the world needs another podcast. You know, Connor texted me saying, Tom, do you want to do a podcast? Because apparently Mark Maron and Joe Rogan aren't good enough. Like, you need to hear this. So I said, yes, let's do a podcast. And we came here to this beautiful green room studio that was run by Dario.
The amazing Dario, who's running all the tech.
Dario, who turned his bar into a green screen studio. And drunk, he said, fuck your podcast, let's do a live TV show. And I said, yes, because I say yes to everything after I have 3 shots of tequila. If you ask my wife, that's how I said yes to her too, and I've been married for 25 fucking years. So hopefully this will be a 25-year relationship with Dario. And
what I'd like to say is, when I had the initial idea for the podcast, I sent a text to Tom, right? And it was a 3-page long, really long text where I said, I've got this kind of cool idea for a podcast, sent it away into the abyss. I didn't hear back from Tom for 3 days, so I just assumed, well, that's that fuck then. Then I got the most fuck you reply I've ever had from anyone, right? I sent him this 3-page Bible, and 3 days later I got a text from Tom that says, hey man, I like all ideas.
now, hey Connor, listen. So that's how, anyways, I just wanted to explain how I met this young man. And he's one of the funniest, wittiest guys that I've had the pleasure of meeting. And plus, I think it's cool that us old fucks like Rob Leonard and fucking Gary Curry fucking don't think I'm seeing you. Now, this place, to me, is so amazing because I feel like I'm Batman right now, and I'm trying to find the fucking Joker. Do you know what I mean? As soon as this podcast is over, I want this place fucking destroyed, man. Okay, so now what we're going to talk about, Connor, is censorship. Okay, and what I'm trying to say is that there's a whole bunch of different kinds of censorship. Now, no, we're not talking about government censorship because I don't know about you, Debbie. Can you fucking unmute Debbie for a second? Let me hear Debbie now. All right, Debbie. Hello, Debbie. How are you?
Hi, Tom.
Hello, Debbie.
How are you?
I'm really good, Debbie. I'm loving your gray hair. Fucking the older I get, you're welcome. That turns me on, Debbie.
Oh my
Now,
God. Oh my God.
I'll be over in a little bit. Now, Deb, what I wanted to ask you right off the bat. Now, we've got some other guests lined up and all that, but Debbie, I know you're a writer because I've talked to you many times. Now, Debbie, when we're talking about censorship, do you think that some censorship is good? Yes?
Tom, to
Yes.
camera.
I do.
Oh, yeah, to camera. Sorry. Yeah, fuck, sorry, Deb. I was looking at you on the screen, but I should be looking right here. Welcome to me learning and getting better as we go along.
Oh,
Okay, now, Deb, I think some censorship is good, yes?
yes.
Yeah, of course. Like, I looked on Wikipedia, Deb, and the government does censor you, but the things they censor seem fine to me. Don't you? Yeah?
Yeah, I'd argue that.
You know what they censor? You know what you can't watch? Child pornography, Debbie.
Yes.
Believe it or not, and I think that's a
Have you
good
tried?
thing.
Have you tried?
Yeah, fuck, that's what I'm talking about, Debbie. Fucking, I know I haven't, but I know Pete Townsend had. Thank you. Thank you. Deb, yeah, of course, child pornography. Nobody's getting mad because that is censored.
Yeah, no one's writing a sign for that.
No.
I want to watch the kid porn. No, I'm fine with that being censored.
Are we all cool with no child pornography?
We're cool with that.
One guy in the corner, Deb Wiles, going, I love it. It's fucking beautiful. All right. So that should be censored. We all agree with that. The other thing that should be censored, apparently, is hate speech, Debbie. Hate speech should be censored. Do you agree with that, Deb?
Yes, of course.
Yes, of course.
If people are speaking in a hateful way, but if it's being reported about, obviously, or written about in a novel, you should be able to write what you want to in a novel.
Oh, that's interesting, Debbie. So are you saying that in a novel it's okay, but in actual reality it's not okay? Did I get that right?
Yeah, because you're highlighting a character who's doing something wrong. So if you were inside the mind of somebody who was inciting hate, then you need to put that out there. You can't hold back.
Yes, excellent.
I absolutely agree with Debbie.
I
Maybe we should talk about Dr. Zeus then. That's kind of perfect. That's what
Yes.
I'm talking about, yeah?
All right, Debbie. What do you think about Dr. Seuss's problem with now? Dario, can we put the? I don't know if we can put the thing on. We're learning as we go along.
Yeah,
folks.
there we go. We have it.
Do we have it? Do you see what's behind me?
Yes.
Is there something behind me?
Fantastic. It's up
Oh,
to
is
you.
it on here? Am I looking at it right?
There
Is
you
this
are.
it?
No, it's at the side.
Is this it? It's to my left. Hold it. This is my left. Perfect. My mom taught me that going, fucking, this is what I write with. Okay. So this is my left. So it's right there. Now, Debbie, let me ask you something. If you saw that, do you think that is racist?
Well, if I didn't know the context, then of course not.
Of course not. But even with the context of Dr. Seuss, do you find that a racist thing?
No, I don't personally.
But somebody does.
Yeah,
Enough
okay.
to have that book removed from print.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, Debbie, I'm going to pick somebody else. Is that okay, Deb? I'm going to move on.
We have
Excellent, Debbie.
we have our first guest lined up, Tom. We have our first guest.
Bring me somebody,
I'm
Connor.
going to bring you Carrie. Carrie, can you give us a wave? I'm going to unmute you right now.
Oh, if that's who I think it is.
Yay! Hi, Carrie.
Oh, hello, Carrie. And is that a guy named Regis next to you?
Yes.
Hi, Regis. Regis used to be an ex-heroin addict. Now, you see, I'm not a judge, but I do love being honest with people, and I'm glad you're off it. You're looking good, and your teeth are back. Now, Regis, it's good to see you, and you're calling from Canada, I'm assuming, yeah?
Yes.
You're in Canada. Ladies and gentlemen, Regis from Canada, ladies and gentlemen. Good to have you here, Regis. Now, Regis, you were listening to what I was saying about Deb, yeah? About Dr. Seuss.
Yeah.
Now, what was the book called? The book from this was called I'm Going to the Mulberry Tree or something?
I'm going to the mulberry bush.
Now, have you ever heard of that book, Regis? Going to the Mulberry Tree?
I don't know if I have.
No, neither have I.
Nobody fucking has.
I didn't hear it until they fucking censored it. Like, do you know what I'm saying, man? Like, sometimes I think censorship can work in the opposite direction. Do you know what I mean, Regis?
Yeah.
And Carrie?
Yeah, I think I do.
Like, seeing...
More interested. You want to research it. You want to look into it.
That's right, Regis. That is so fucking right.
I like the way Regis thinks.
Regis fucking thinks awesome.
Surprisingly clear-headed for an ex-smackhead. That's amazing, Regis.
Attaboy, Regis. Now, I feel...
Easy with the X.
Say that again, Regis?
I said easy with the X.
Yes, I have, actually. Now, I think when you censored that, I didn't know, I've never read any of those books. But I do remember when I was 16, and they put labels on albums. You know what I'm talking about, Regis? They put labels on albums. Like, I remember the first label I saw was on an AC/DC Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap. And they put 18-year-old or whatever, 15-year-old. It made me want to buy it more.
Of course.
Yep.
You know? Yep. So, Regis, do you think it's a good idea to censor Dr. Zeus? Or should we have just left it and no one would have known about it anyways?
I think we should have just left it, but I think we should have started putting pages in at the beginning that say, this was a different time, but this is a dated piece of work, and it is presented as it was originally published. That's it.
Wow, Regis, that was spoken like a man who's running for office. Wow, that's amazing.
Regis, that is a beautiful point. So, Regis, do you think because things have come from a different time that we're not allowed to use them anymore? Is that what we can say?
We
Like,
definitely need to use them. We definitely need.
Yeah.
Definitely it's history.
yes, Regis, it is history. And when they say that it's outdated, like if you watch the TV show, people of that time will find it funny, but people that didn't grow up with it will probably not find it very funny. And that causes the friction because they're from a time like that just doesn't know that even before then it was worse than that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying, man? Yeah. You know, so with all this, is it called cultural appropriation?
Cultural appropriation. So that's when someone from one race does something that you would only associate with another race. So a big common one would be like white people wearing their hair in cornrows.
Oh, gotcha.
Something like that.
Okay, but that has nothing to do with Dr. Seuss. I don't.
No, look, what you,
Okay.
Tom, what you get up to on the weekend is your business, man.
Maybe he had cornrows. Excellent, Regis. You're fucking right, he did, buddy. You're damn right, he did.
Why do you think the cat wore the hat?
Yeah. I love it. You see, Regis, this is what I'm talking about. I think everybody in this room agrees with that. And I don't know who the youngest person is, but we're going to find them soon enough.
I think we are going to maybe have to go on to our next guest.
We've only got a certain amount of time, you betcha, man.
Next, I'm going to bring in, we have Debs Wild. Debs, can you give us a little
Regis, it was really good talking to you.
Make some noise for Regis, everybody!
Yeah, Regis! All right.
Hi, Debbie, who seems to be filming herself on a toaster. Thanks for that. Cheers, Debbie.
I'm a Debs.
I'm a Debs.
Okay,
Hi, Debs.
sorry, Karen.
All right. Fuck me, man. This is hilarious. All right. Now, hi, Debbie. Okay, Debbie. Now, how old are you, Deb? I always love asking women that question.
Yeah, we love it
We love it too, Tom.
51.
51, Deb. I'm 50, Deb. So we're in the same boat. We're getting sexier as we go along, right, Debbie?
This looks like the worst porno I've ever seen.
Worst porno. Stop it. Everybody loves a 50-year-old man guy.
A couple of boomers touching each other up in the dark. Stop, please.
Did he just call us fucking boomers? We're fucking Gen X, baby. Don't ever forget that. Now, other places that are censored are things like music, Deb, that we grew up with. Yes, Debbie?
I work in the music
industry.
Oh, right on, Deb. Yes.
It's almost
That
as
is
if we
exactly a fact, Deb. I know this, Debbie, actually. You know what the best part about this talk show is? I'm starting to realize I've probably drank with every single one of you guys. That's so funny to me.
Tom, this is basically an AA meeting for you at this point.
Now, Deb, you do work in the music industry, Deb. Now,
one of the things that I wanted to ask somebody, because I love the Pogues. This is always a big one. They always talk about this one. And every time I hear the Pogues, Connor, you know the song that I'm talking about, yes?
Yep, the one that makes them money every December.
Every December it makes them tons of money. But they banned the word, you dirty, rotten faggot. Let's just say it, okay? I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings, but those are the words that were banned. Now, to me, I'm like going, why weren't we worried about it before? And why is it such a big deal now? Because in context, it doesn't hurt anybody. It's not used in any maliciousness. Do you know what I mean? When you're listening to the song, Deb, you don't think, man, I want to go out and do some bashing. You know what I mean? You're not, the Pogues aren't making you feel violent towards another group of people. They just wrote it in a song. Like Deb said, that was the character, and that's how the character talks. Now, were you angry, or do you agree with that? Because there's other examples that I'm going to use now too.
I'm always angry about that. It's always some white middle class moron who takes offence on somebody else's behalf.
I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. It's white guilt at its finest.
Wow. So who took? So when you do that though, but yet here we go. Here we go. There are some words that they don't ban, which is my thing. Is because I don't know if you've heard of 50 Cent, and I don't know if you've heard of Nelly, but I'm going to tell you, some of those words are totally very hard to sing. Very, very hard, even though I love the song. I love the song, but I'm not going to sing it out loud unless I'm in a shower by myself. Now, why are those words allowed and the Pogues words not allowed, Debbie? Do you have an opinion on that?
It's the same answer that I just gave. It's some white middle class arsehole who's taking some kind of offence on behalf of other people. But you know, I think it was Prince might have had the first ever explicit sticker on a cover when people were burning his album.
Amazing.
When they were burning his album, what happened there, Deb?
I think it might.
What do you know?
On Purple Rain, I think it was a song called Darling Nikki about someone masturbating with a magazine and all the parents went nuts. But his previous albums had songs about incest and oral sex and all sorts. So, you know, go
that sounds like my internet history, Debs.
This is what I love. You know, because people think that just because you're a big superstar or whatever, that you know more. Debs, I didn't even know that, Debbie. This is what I love, and I'm going to get better at talking to you on this medium. Deb, you're damn right. I remember Darling Nikki. I remember that song being there, and we were all like, oh my God, that's so cool. He's such a rebel. And of course, it's Kevin's parents that don't want us to fucking hear that piece of shit song. But fucking, you know what? I bet you it only made Prince more popular, didn't it?
Yeah, that's
so
exactly
censorship is.
I think that was probably a sexual awakening for me, Prince, about 1985.
Yeah? What, you start masturbating in the bedroom, did you, Dad?
Yeah.
Fucking right you did.
All right, I think we should
women
maybe
masturbated. A lot of people said they didn't, but I totally do. All right, Dad, it was a real pleasure meeting you.
Bye-bye.
I think we're going to go. We have one more guest. We can only do a few minutes with him before we get on. We have Gary Curry. Gary, can you give us a wave,
Gary
please?
Curry. I think I saw that guy. Where is Gary Curry? Ah, where are you, Gary? I can see you.
There he is.
Hold on. Put him on the big screen. Where the fuck is Gary? All right, Gary, you're our third guest, Gary. Now, where? Oh, look at that. Whole bunch of
Hey, there we are.
Hey, Gary. Hi, Gary. Now, Gary, you look a lot. Hi, Gary. Sorry. I'm so excited, Gary. As I move along, I'm going to calm down. But right now, I'm super excited about this show. Now, Now, Gary, hold it. I should take 3 deep breaths.
Before we get into Gary, can I just say we've had an amazing comment. Guys, feel free to jump in the chat anytime and anything. I just want to read this out. We have had an amazing comment from Dave Browell, who just wrote, when I was 11, I wrote all the lyrics to the Bloodhound Gang's Bad Touch, and my parents found them. God bless you, Dave.
Good for you. Now, Gary, how are you, Gary? Now,
I'm very well, are you?
Gary, I'm really good, Gary. I'm really good. I'm doing a talk show for the first time in my life, and I'm fucking really pumped about this shit. And we're doing 4 of them, Gary. We're only doing 4 because we're either going to get better or never do this again, Gary. That is exactly what the fuck is going on. Now, Gary, you look to be about my age, Gary. Now, how old are you, Gary?
54.
54. Fucking looking dynamite, Gary.
Amazing.
I can see him over here, man, but I'm looking at you, Gary. Now, Gary, let me ask you something, Gary. If you could censor anyone in your family, who would you censor, Gary? Who would it be?
Probably my mother.
Your mother.
Yeah.
Excellent. And how old is your mother?
75.
Told you,
Yeah,
Connor.
there you go.
I said, if I ask anyone, Gare, I bet you if I ask anyone, none of them will say a young person, Gary. They'll always say some old fuck. Because those old fucks, sorry, Gary?
No, go on.
Those old fucks, Gary, they're the ones we got to worry about, right?
Yes.
Like, Gary, do you censor yourself at all? Do you try and keep up with this woke generation?
Yes, because I'm at a university.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
And
Excellent.
It's a minefield. It's a minefield.
Where is it? Where are you at?
At Teesside in the northeast.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah. So you work at a university. Are you a professor of something?
Well, I'm not a professor, but I do.
Are you Matt Damon and you just clean the place up? And every now and then you see a fucking cool thing and then fucking solve that. No?
I'm a lecturer.
Oh, and what do you lecture in then, Gary? Tell me something, man. Forensic what?
Forensic what? Sorry, Gary?
Science.
Science. Forensic
forensic
science. Okay.
I don't even know what the fuck that is.
I
How
think-
weird is that?
I think it's a lot of cleaning up sperm.
Yeah, wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Juice collector.
You know, I always say there's an old saying, a forensic scientist and the mother of a teenager, much the same. You know?
Wow. Wow. Now, yeah, I guess you're put in the position where you have to be kind of woke. I find, Gary, I find it's hard for me because there's a piece of me that understands what they're doing, but then the other part of me says I don't want to be a part of it because we're living in a world where they're saying it's woke, but they don't listen to context of what the words are, and we've created things like there was no such thing as trigger words in the 80s. Were there, Gary?
No.
We listened to the whole sentence and then decided if it was racist or not.
Yeah.
We didn't just hear one word and shut them fucking up. Is that fair enough to say?
It's always about context.
I love it. I love Gary's. Context is all about context.
So do you think in this day and age that we're losing that ability to listen to a whole idea? Instead, we're just so scared of the word that we shy off of it.
I do. I was going to. I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
Does this environment sort of affect your delivery, your writing?
Oh, the new environment that we're living in. You fucking bet it does. The problem is I even live in Scotland, and they just passed what was the bill? The fucking hate crime bill in Scotland. That I'm not even sure what it is. But apparently, if somebody says something fucked up at the dinner table, you can report them, man. And Gary, fucking, when I heard that, I sold my house. And I'm moving to England. Fucking, I'm serious. I'm terrified of what the Edinburgh Festival is going to become. But I'm glad you asked that question. I'm so glad you asked that question. Because you are going to love the guest that I brought on today. And this guest, should we bring...
Yeah, so
what time are we on?
We're at 8:45. So
holy fuck, that went fast, man.
Yeah. So we're going to bring on a pretty awesome guest, Tom. Who have we got?
Ladies and gentlemen, before we start, though, give a big round of applause to Debs and Carrie and everybody that came on. We're learning as we go along. Gary, thank you so much for participating. I can't wait. We'll see you again on the next show. This will be awesome. Welcome to the pilot. But we got to bring on the one guest that I really wanted to bring on tonight. And
what we're going to do, guys, we're going to show you a little clip of the guy who we're going to bring on, the amazing Steve Hughes. He's a comedian. You're going to see a short 2-3 minute clip of Steve Hughes' comedy. And when we come back, we'll be in here on Zoom ready to go for you guys.
And then we're going to talk to him about comedy.
Here we go, guys.
It's like Lemmy from Motorhead. He just died, and people, oh, I'm so upset. Why? His life was fucking perfect. It looked perfect. I don't understand his internal world space or what happened to him as an individual. He would have had his shit like every human. But think about it, his life. When did he get born? 1945. Perfect. Where's the Nazis? We fucked them off. I'll turn up then. Where does he get born? England. Brilliant. Not Australia, America. Bad time. Could end up in Vietnam. Not in England. We're not going.
They can't hear the clip.
When's he get born? England. The end of World War II. The country's a bit bombed, but there's a sense of elation. The war's over. Brilliant. The food's shit, but it's always been shit, and they don't care. So he doesn't give a fuck. So he gets brought up. He reaches his teenage years. What's happening? Oh, I'll listen to Elvis Presley for the first time on Crystal Radio all the way from fucking Wales. That's good. I'll hear the birth of rock and roll. Then I might go to Liverpool and see the Beatles playing for the first time. Then I'll go and see Pink Floyd and The Who, and I'll hang out with Jimi Hendrix. Then what'll I do? Then I'll hit the age of free love and acid, so I'll take a ton of acid and fuck tons of chicks. And then I'll join Hawkwind, an acid band. In fact, I'll take so much acid that they even kick me out. He gets kicked out of an acid band. Now, acid can fuck you if you take too much, but Lemmy took tons of it. What happened? Nothing. Just, yeah, I'm all right. Hits the late 70s, early 80s, makes Motorhead, creates the band, which is the prototype of all thrash metal, right? Doesn't become as popular as the bands after him, but he's the godfather, the king, right? And he rocks through the 80s, rocks through the fucking 90s. What's he doing in that time? Playing metal, drinking Jack Daniels, taking speed, smoking cigarettes. What's happening? Nothing. I'm just rocking. Hits the 2000s, starts to get into his 60s, his 70s. He's still rocking around in tight black jeans, cowboy hats, cowboy boots. Does he look dumb? Nah, looks cool as fuck. Pulling it off. He's an old man pulling it off. Fucking young girls, 2 big warts on his face. Perfect. Gets to the end, does his last tour, goes to the Whiskey A Go-Go, gets pissed, wakes up in the morning, feels sick, gets his manager to take him to the hospital. You've got cancer. Next day, dies. Perfect. Perfect. What a great fucking time. As soon as World War III's on the horizon, he's like, I'm fucking out of here. Thank you very much. That was fantastic. Because I'm just saying, it's only from my perspective. If you're going to have a terminal disease, that's the way you want it. One day, Lemmy cancer. That's what you want. You don't want this fucking cancer that just hangs around for years. What the fuck kind of gay cancer is that? I had cancer for 10 years. What kind of poofter cancer have you got? You gonna kill me, cancer? Nah, just thought I'd move in. It's gonna move in and rearrange a few things, you know, like your hair and your money. Put you into pain and maybe I'll kill you eventually. Fuck that, you want lemmy cancer. That's what I'd fucking prefer. If I had to go to the doctor and sorry, Mr. Hughes, I've got some bad news. What is it? I'm afraid you've got cancer. What the fuck should I do? You should have a wank and a sandwich. Because,
All right.
All right, guys.
Are we back? Are we back?
We're back.
Yes.
We're back in the studio.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Mr. Steve Hughes.
Yes.
Excellent. Hi, Stevie. Fucking, oh, looking as cool as fuck, Steve.
David.
I love this look. Hey, I'm Tom Stade. Now, Steve, if I could just give a little introduction.
I love it.
I want to give a little introduction. Now, a lot of people know this, but when we did, me and you were together in Birmingham Hippodrome, and I did the meat man joke that night, and you did the offense joke that night, and that's when fucking pretty much the best Michael McIntyre Road show ever out of all of them. And then from then on, we've been good friends ever since, man. And thank you for showing up on the show tonight, Stevie.
Well, you know, I was really busy. I had so much to do. And
now, Stevie, you've heard.
I don't mind, you know, if this day and age, you know, if you're going to get experimented,
Dude.
I'll go for this experiment. Tom Stade's first show. I'll go for that one.
Yeah, man, it's fucking awesome, dude. You're going to be known as the first guest in something that may be big or not. Who knows?
Now
Anyway.
I was just ask the question. When the show started, you know, I went through a bit of a breakdown for about 5 years, serious depression. So I was just wondering, when the show started, you were actually on clouds. I wasn't.
No, I was, man. Don't worry. You weren't hallucinating. That was absolutely that was my brain, buddy. Now, hey, Stevie. Now we haven't. I want to ask you a question. Now we started talking. I called you this morning, didn't I, Stevie, man? And we're talking about different ways that you can be censored and all of that sort of stuff. Do you know what I mean? And I know, Steve, that you don't give a fuck about people's opinions of what you think. Is that fair enough to say?
Well, as a person who functions with other people, I give a fuck about other people what they think of me, except you can bypass that by having manners.
Ah, excellent. Yes, sir, Stevie. Steve, what?
Sorry, Steve. Didn't the people of our age that are probably here tonight watching, we got brought up with this amazing thing called manners. And so that kind of gave you some social lubricant, so to speak, and then you just kind of got on, didn't you? Because there was large groups of you around. So if you had some manners, you could probably just bypass. And then your parents did things like, we're going to have a dinner party, but we're not going to talk about religion or politics. Why? Because we'll have different opinions and we're going to have a good time tonight. So we won't jeopardize our friendship by having different opinions which have to do with politics and religion and so forth. And then we had, what was the third one I was going to say? I don't know. We'll get to it later. But yeah, those kind of things.
No worry.
we now have these big arguments and these big talk shows. And do you think you have the right to offend someone? And we go into these postmodern subjective world spaces to discuss something which just becomes a jungle of nothing, because that's what it is. All this censorship. It's a jungle of postmodernist, cultural, Marxist, subjective Orwellianism. And so you all waste your energy, and then they harvest your energy because we all sit around fucking rabbiting on about nothing when all it took was manners.
You don't even know. Fucking. So what happened then, Steve? What happened to that point? When did we change from there till now, dude? What was the dividing line? That all of a sudden everything was okay and now everything is not okay. In your opinion?
In my opinion, all right. Well, for starters, I would come at this. I would come at this from what you call a massive. I'm a conspiracy theorist, apparently.
Yes.
Right, because I've decided from a very young age that perhaps this system which taxed everyone to death and sent them to wars and fined them and locked them in prison for marijuana and let murderers get away and would make war justifiable to the great mass somehow, I strangely didn't feel that perhaps was normal. And so what I did was, because I'm a child of the universe, and so when I sat there as a child and stared into the skies, and I thought, look at that unending cosmos, and what you want me to do with my life is sit in this retarded school, and then you want me to go and get a shit job for $4 an hour, so you can steal all my time, you can harvest my time so I don't evolve, and then you'll pay me fuck all, and then you want me to pay it back into the illegal system, the draconian, Luciferian, Babylonian, Roman Catholic, Vatican system, so that you can kill all the people you want to kill, and then you'll take my time, harvest my energy, and, you know, I kind of thought, I don't think that's the way human beings are supposed to live. So what I did was I looked into...
Amazing.
Right? So I looked into things that weren't in the mainstream, because it's pretty obvious that the mainstream is doctored and targeted to the lowest common denominator. And in this day and age, the mainstream is completely sold out. Your countries are sold out. Your governments are sold out. Your institutions are sold out. Everything is sold out to a corporate, globalist, Vatican-based, Luciferian, globalist, godly, fucking godless pantomime that goes back to Rome. This is why you've got political correctness. Because this is
amazing, man. Steve, thank you so much. Steve, could I?
No. Oh, yeah. Connor, if you want to ask Stevie any questions.
If you don't mind, Steve, first of all, I want to say thanks so much for coming on the show. I've been a big fan of your stuff for a long time. Love it.
I think, Steve, it's way more fun being a conspiracy theorist anyways. I don't know why we all aren't. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Alternate thinker, not a conspiracy theorist.
Thank you very much, man. Yes.
So, Steve, I was just wondering, I know you're obviously in the 80s and stuff, you were involved more with heavy metal bands, and I know you're a huge heavy metal fan. I just wondered, do you see the same kind of censorship that's happening in comedy? Do you see that happening to metal music as well? Do you think it's getting softer?
So it's interesting that you even bring up heavy metal, because that's an interesting way to come into this topic anyway. Now, heavy metal, when I got into it, I grew up, I wasn't good at anything, sport or school. I didn't fit in. I don't like this whole scenario. I do have an emotionally abusive upbringing from my dysfunctional family, so that plays into it. But I just realized that, you know, this is bullshit. So when I got into metal, because the basis of a lot of outlier groups, heavy metal, punk in the day, punk is just lefty rubbish now, but back in the day, was that you're an outlier. You don't fit into the mainstream. You don't want to. We all know here heavy metal music gets looked upon as stupid, dumb, for idiots, fat beer drinking morons who are sexists and they can't play and they're rubbish, right? We knew that wasn't true, and we didn't give a fuck what you thought, because we knew. So we're not caring about the mainstream accepting us. Now, what you have these days is they've inverted that whole outlier scenario. I used to think when they first made that film, Revenge of the Nerds, I thought, oh, look, they're bringing the outliers into the mainstream.
Yeah.
Right?
And before you know it, you have Big Bang Theory.
You start to homogenize all the outlier things.
Yeah.
And now what you've done is you've turned them into victims, and you've told them they've all got mental health problems. And you did that by drugging the children and everyone, and you disguise it as empathy and compassion. We're going to wear a band and do a run for mental health, and you bring mental health into the mainstream framework. And now everybody that has a sad day on a bus thinks they've got a mental health problem. Right? Because this is to program you to get used to the medical mafia, which they're now introducing. Right? So eventually,
Steve, do you mind if I...
Eventually, they can do things like going, well, you don't believe in what the mainstream says anymore. You must have mental health problems.
Yeah. So, Steve, just going back to the bands and stuff.
Into a communist state, then what's happening is that they're all going to, because as soon as any group of people turn up and go, we've got your best interests at heart, you should fucking run.
That's scary as fuck.
Run.
That is scary. The last thing I want, Steve, is a bunch of righteous people coming over the hill to fucking save me, buddy. Dude.
So let's get back to it. So heavy metal, what is the basis thing that I'm really loving about this heavy metal, right? Freedom. Freedom, right? And especially when thrash metal turned up, there was even the freedom to express yourself vocally and musically, because it was over the top. You could sing about Satan and violence and chaos.
Yeah.
Right. So it was complete, it was out of the mainstream. It was even out of the mainstream of mainstream heavy metal. It went underground, and it was fucking brilliant, right? But now they've twisted this, right, to include all these outlier groups, victimize them, right? And now these mutants, these poor children who have been mutated by this ideology which is coming through your institutions, through French fucking intellectuals, pseudo-intellectuals, postmodernist intellectuals, through cultural Marxism and critical theory. This has come in, this is KGB mass mind control. Right?
I love it.
KGB,
amazing.
Right? They know how to do it. You demoralize a nation. Step one takes 2 generations. You get into the young, you get through the institutions. Of course they've got through the institutions, because this is Rome. It's what I love about people.
Dude,
conspiracy theorists. Just because you watch football all fucking day and drink beer and order pizza and watch Netflix and then go, oh, you don't know anything, right? No, you don't know anything.
Incredible. Steve, I love it.
Now, Stevie, I have a feeling this is how Socrates felt when he was on trial corrupting the youth right now.
This is how any fucking evolved soul feels being in this prison planet.
Yes.
Right? Because this planet has been hijacked by Luciferians for thousands of years. Cabals, banks. Where do you think these people come from? Do you think I'm mad? Or do you think the guy sitting on the couch watching Netflix fucking is mad? He's mad. He's in the dream spell. He goes to the doctor like it's, I just go to the doctor, you give me pills, Victor, no. See, I'm going to get mad. I haven't done a gig for fucking long, right? I'm so sad.
Guys, Steve, thank you so much, man, for coming on. That's incredible.
You know what? I'm so glad you came on the show, Stevie. You're one of my favoriteest people, and I do love listening to your ideas. Till the day I die, man.
Let's go back, because I'm getting off track, because my brain goes fucking on fire, right?
Fuck it, let's keep going then, Steve. Applause if we watch more of Steve.
So,
okay.
If they're bored, I'll go. I don't throw pearls before swine anymore, right?
No, man, fucking Stevie. You know, we're not on a network, and I'm sponsoring nothing.
See,
so you can talk all you want.
I reached a stage, as I said yesterday, I've reached a stage where I cannot function talking to people who are not in my league anymore. I'm not the smartest.
Wow.
I don't know everything that's happening in the world. There's people who are wiser than me, right? But I tell you what, I can't see. I'm in another reality to people who are still in the old system. It's an old system. It's dying.
Yes, it is. I know exactly what you're.
It's dying, and it's throwing everything it can at the human race to fucking lock you into an AI transhumanist, dislocated from any kind of spirituality, 3D prison planet.
You know what, Steve? Right now, I'm looking at Gary Curry, who's the lecturer, and I'm pretty sure he's like, this guy's fucking spot on. Gary, hold on, Steve. Can we hold on for 1 second, Stevie? Hold that thought. Gary, my lecturer friend. Where's Gary? Can we pull Gary out?
Hello, Gary.
Hey, Gary, have you been listening to this?
Some of it.
Some of it? How are you feeling about Steve? Would you want this man censored, or would you want to hear more?
I like him. It just needs organising a bit more.
Yeah, totally.
Ah.
He's right. That's what I said, because my brain goes off on these tangents, right? Because I'm not used to doing talks. I'm used to doing comedy. Right.
Yes, that's exactly. I know what you're saying, Steve. That's the same way I feel. We gotta learn. I feel like I'm boxing with my left hand right now.
Let me get back to the point. So when I get into heavy metal, they've changed these people now. They brought these outlier people in, where now you've got this idea. I saw it. I do a routine about it. You've seen it, Tom. And now I saw an article where they had this punk with a mohawk and his thing with his discharge shirt. And the story is he's upset because he gets, what's the word?
Marginalized?
Fuck, I always forget this word.
It's okay, Stevie, I know.
What's the fucking word? It's such a word.
I'm pretty sure when you're talking about a mohawk, he gets profiled or something like that.
Discriminated against.
Discriminated. There we go.
Excellent.
Discrimination if he can't get a job in the bank. Right? So they've turned it around where if you're a punk, you had a mohawk because you didn't want to work in the bank.
Yes!
Yes!
To keep you out of the system. Right? This is why you like
Yeah.
Right? But now
I kind of knew we were in trouble.
Now they've turned them into this. They hate the system. They see it as they've been brainwashed, right? Because they've been brainwashed to have no sense of self-preservation. Because the nation states are being destroyed, and they're being destroyed on all levels and incrementally through the ideologies of the nation themselves. So it's like an intellectual Trojan horse that's been brought in through the institutions. Now you subvert the people in the very own country. They go against their own people. The media is bought and sold. It narrates. This demoralizes the nation till they have no sense of identity. Then you flood them with multiculturalism. So slowly the host nation, the mother nation, has no identity. Is there an English identity? You ask people in the street, the BBC does their little interviews. No, I think it's just multicultural. It's just multicultural.
Stevie.
It's just multicultural. It's supposed to be English.
I love it, Stevie.
It's racist to be English in England.
Stevie, I love it. And you know why I love it? Because I'll guarantee you, James Corden or anybody will never get an interview like that, Steve. There is no fucking way that would ever get on mainstream. Listen, Steve, we gotta.
I just need to take some lessons of Jordan Peterson.
Yeah.
Steve, I want to say thank you so much, Steve.
Stevie, I gotta thank you because we gotta get out of here, bro. We do have to go, but fucking, I really love fucking because that is how fast this shit goes.
I'm sorry, man. We have to.
It's amazing. That hour went fucking fast, man. It was crazy, dude.
Years to get through.
Stevie, we love you for it.
Yes.
Steve, before you go, Steve, do you have any like upcoming tour dates or anything you want to tell us about before you go?
I know you've got a new CD coming out, and I've already seen it, and I know it's absolutely great. And I don't mean to plug anything, but Stevie, I love you so much, and I love the fact that that's the way you fucking think, Stevie. And I want to thank you for coming on the show tonight, if that's cool.
Thank you.
Everybody, big round of applause for Stevie Hughes.
Thank you so much, Steve.
Fucking yes, Stevie. Wow. That was absolutely amazing, man. I couldn't have asked for a better first guest if I fucking tried. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be the end of our show, and what I really kind of want to say is thank you. Did you guys enjoy yourselves tonight? But let them all, unmute them all. I want to see who enjoyed it.
Yeah.
You know, not bad for a first try.
Guys, I want to say thank you so much for being a little bit patient for us. There's so much tech going into this. You guys have been so amazing. Thank you. Give yourselves a round of applause.
And what we're going to do is, yes.
I have some pictures. We'll do some pictures and then we'll finish up.
Yeah, or should we just fucking...
I think, do you guys want like 5 more minutes or do you want to wrap it up now?
I think. Huh?
Keep
more
going, keep
Stevie.
going.
Somebody's like more Stevie. We can bring Steve back on. I'm pretty sure Steve's got a lot of ranting he still wants to do. Not a problem, man. Huh? You should see him when we're high. Now, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, wait a minute. We have a little shout out in the chat. Tom, can you give a shout out to Karen for her birthday, please?
Of course I can. Where is Karen?
Woo!
Karen, happy birthday, Karen.
Happy birthday.
And how great is that? That's what an interactive talk show is going to be all about. And we're going to, like, ladies and gentlemen, the fact that you help us start this journey, it is only going to get better and better. I promise you that. And the one thing I think I've learned, okay? The one thing I think we've learned is that I think censorship is kind of good. Censorship is really good because without censorship, everyone would be Steve Hughes.
Yeah.
Everyone, you wouldn't have that danger that comes along with it. So I want to thank all you woke monkeys for hating my guts sometimes. I want to thank all you woke monkeys for making me dangerous. Because you guys are the things that give me fucking hope that I can come out there and offend your fucking ass for no reason whatsoever, man.
Beautiful.
So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in.
We have one more shout out. We have
one more shout out.
She said, someone said, it's also Rachel's birthday too, so could you just tell Rachel to go fuck herself? That'd be great.
Rachel, fucking, I hope you get laid and go fuck yourself. Have a great birthday. Enjoy. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I love you all dearly, and we'll talk to you again maybe next week, and thank you for showing up.
Thank you guys so much.
For
Cheers.
doing your space. Wow. Wow. That was wild. That was fucking wild, man. Woo. All right. Are we still on?